So welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another episode of how I flipped account, how I use my bread and butter strategy with my CRT strategy. So today I'm currently running a trade on my London session, my New York, my London's 3 a.m. CRT candle. So you can see that I'm on a trade on a buy opportunity on volatility 25. So how I did this trade, how my trade setup for this trade, you can see that on my for those who have gone through my bread and butter strategy, you can see that I'm coming from an internal liquidity and I'm going to external liquidity. That is how I did. That is one of the way I categorize my liquidity in my bread and butter strategy. So with that, I knew, and all I did was just what I was just for me to wait for the right time. I've always emphasized on that time is more important than price. So if you look at my time, it is currently 7:29 a.m. and that is my what that is the time that I trade my London session. That is the time I come into the market. I don't spend hours in market. I spend I don't spend all days in the market. I spend just a few hours, and within that few hours, I know what I'm waiting for. I just wait for that particular thing. I wait for my setup to form at that particular time, and I'm back in the market. So I've come from from internal liquidity and I'm going to to external liquidity. You can see how I'm moving from each time frame, trying to see the psychology of each time frame, blending each time frame with each other. All right, so you can see that I waited for that particular entry. You can see my balance is what 1.70 cents. Right, so in one of the things that it does with trading is that you need to understand margin. You need to understand each pair. The last time that I posted a video on volatility 75, that how I grew what 0.15 cents with my signal group, in my signal group with what one of my students in the signal group, one of the participants in signal group. You can see those things that I consider was margin and my balance. Right, I'm having a very low balance of 1.70. Though I can open a position on crash 1000, I know I'm going to put to I will be able to open it, but the margin that I have left for the market to do what you want to do, I don't have it. But look at this volatility 75 now with my balance. I have I have free margins left for the market to do the retracement that you want to do. You can see my entry, there was not even any there was no there was no any setup. You can see the margin that I used was 0.67 and I have free margin of 1.03. So that $1 plus is enough for the market to do whatever you want to do. Right, is enough for the market to do whatever you want to do. So that is how I trade my you can see it eating my take profit already. It's getting close to my take profit already. In how many minutes? In less than how many minutes? I didn't even spend up to. Let's count it. So that's how many 1 2 3. I didn't even spend up to 15 minutes, and I was able to meet my target. I grew the account to that level that I want to grow it to, and I had my bread and butter set up at that time on that So the reason why I call it bread and butter is that bread and butter is very small, it's very chicken in money. It's just a small money and a small time, right? It gives you that confidence and that time. You can see it reducing back down to so the green light that I have there are one of the things, the analysis I toss. So that green light, I have what it intended for me. So you can see I'm checking I'm using my TDR now for confirmation to see if it's actually going to hit my take profit, or a reversal is already happening. So from my TDI, I can see that no, the trade will continue. There's going to be a trend continuation, and that was why I did not panic to close. And rather, I adjusted my take profit. I adjusted my take profit, and I'm waiting for for that particular setup to meet. So that is one thing about trading. Also, once you have a target, you let your target works, right? You let your target works, and you get what the maximum profit you want. You can see just 733. So at that 733, I'm still watching time. I'm watching time. I'm watching time. Time over price. Time over price. I can't keep emphasizing on it. So if you are here to subscribe on my YouTube channel, please do hit on the subscribe button and turn up the bell notification. And if you want to know about my mentorship or my bread and butter strategy and also my CRT strategy, in the description of the video you'll find a link. You find my number on this particular video. On this video, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp or Telegram. I'm going to respond to you. And at the description of this video, you always have a link to enter my DM directly on WhatsApp to know more about my mentorship or my signal groups. So trading should be what? Should be profitable and should be fun once you know what you are looking for. So you can see how we are running. I had a retracement. I didn't panic. I was looking at closing and I was looking at closing, but I just kept on waiting to see what the market is. The retracement is going to be too much, so I'm looking at what is happening. So that green light that I have was an hold high, and also an higher time frame an higher time frame key level. So I knew there is going to be there's going to be a reaction at that level. So I'm just watching closely to see. So while I'm doing this, I'm also checking on my on my system, looking at the analysis there. You can see the So I was just waiting for this retracement level. So I saw this fair value gap, right? So that is my That is my silver bullet entry. So for those of you that understand silver bullet very, very well, silver bullet is actually a strategy you can use, a scalping strategy. You don't need to spend more than under 5-10 minutes. You are done with silver bullet. You are what? You are done with silver bullet. So that's one thing about silver bullet. So silver bullet is simply the first fair value gap that you have at a key time, at your silver bullet time, at your at your silver bullet. So once I saw that, I know that there was going to be a reaction and the trend is going to continue. So I'm just scanning through my time frame to see how the available POI that I have that is ready to push the market up to my up to my trading, up to my to my targeted profit, right? So and you can see we are back up again, right? We are back up again. You can count. Let's count how many candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So under 15 minutes, I'm able to meet my daily bread and butter. So that's why I call it bread and butter strategy. It is simple, just a shaking money, a setup that you can just use to get what you want. It's simple. Just get your bread and butter from the market and you move. So on a day that I want to flip, so now I'm taking advantage of this strategy. Now is a pattern that I've been trading times without number. So on a day that I want to flip accounts, on a day that I want to grow accounts, so once I spot that bread and butter setup, I will just scale in. Then I'm going to be I'm going to what do you call it, safe? I'm going to be putting I'm going to stack. That is the day I stacks. So that is the day that I stack. You can see it eating to my to my take profit. So the first take profit that I said, it has hit it already. So it's moving to to the adjusted take profit already that I set. You can see. So that is how I run my bread and butter strategy. As you can see on my 1 hour time frame, I have seen my confirmation that that sell, that buy is going to be a long one, right? It's going to be a long one. So that is how I use my bread and butter strategy with my BTMM. So for the moving away that I have there, that's my BTMM. So I combine everything together, but it is simple and logic. Just 4 things that I put into consideration to have my trade set up, and I'm good to go. So the first one out of the 4 thing is my liquidity. That's one of the top notch of the things that I do. Liquidity. Liquidity is very, very important. So that's one thing that I consider. You can see it actually moving, and I adjusted my take profit. Now that I adjusted my take profit, I did not even look at the I only adjusted it based on an emotion. I only adjusted it based on emotion. I didn't look for any confirmation on a higher time frame for me to put down my take profits. Right? I didn't look. I adjusted it based on on balance. I adjusted it based on balance. You can see I just moved it. I didn't even consider anything on higher time frame to see my higher time frame confirmation for that my new take profit. Right? So If you want to know more about my bread and butter strategy, you find a link in the description of the video. And if there's anything you want to ask, you can drop it in the comment section. I'm going to be able to respond to it. Anything you want to know, and